guy goes in the next day and it's been running at 76, right, for all night, I'm paying for that. But so the only thing I wanted to say about user group, watch the nonprofit. The Ku Klux Klan is a nonprofit organization, and you really got to watch nonprofits because that can go to political parties and you name it. So I think it has to be community-based. I think it has to offer a service to the community, and I think that's the definition. But it has to be cost recovery to a degree.
But and maybe there has to be that nobody gets free. Minimum.
Well, you can
There's
scale.
always something.
You can scale it. I mean, I look at the Trails group and I think they are doing work for us. They are going to groom trails. They're going to CIB. They're doing work for us that we would have to pay to do. And you know, you got to be fair.
Deputy Mayor?
Sure, I will formalize that into motion because I think, although we might have given staff direction before, I'm not sure it was formalized into the motion. So I'll make a motion that direct staff to prepare a report with a couple of models of approaches to perhaps recovering some money from service groups that are asking for a waiver of fees when using our municipal facilities.
Any other discussion?
So we're just asking for a report?
Yeah. Staff need direction. Right, John? Staff need
I was
direction.
just highlighting that in the operating budgets, reflecting what we currently have. That's all. So rather than say, no, we got to drive up those fees for a cost recovery threshold, you're saying, no, put that on hold till we have a full report on the issue. That's fine.
And if I could just add to that, I think it's seconded to get that approved, but that we have a report on what we actually waived for rental fees in 2011. And
Just to know how much it would have been,
yeah.
or whether we want to look back or we want to go forward.
We want to know what we're changing from, I think, what our motivation
It'll be a net bonus.
They have a record.
Do you have a record, Shannon?
Of who's using it? Do you have a record of who's been waived or
Guesstimate.
not?
Guesstimate.
I do this year.
This year, okay. Okay.
Because that's hard. You waive it, you don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're no
Is the motion amended to add the last year's, try to get a number on
I
that?
think it would be great if that is.
It'll be in the report.
Yes, it's fine.
You need a comparison.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you
It's
second?
on the report. All in favor?
Oh, there you go.
Carried. Good. Newly created communities.
Right.
Committees.
Economic development. Just the second bullet.
Okay.
This was just to highlight the fact that when the budget was put together, we really had the issue about increased emphasis on economic development hadn't been identified, so we'd like to plug that in. Some kind of number or some kind of calculation needs to be determined. And in particular, I highlighted, and no particular reason, is just putting it together about the Grand Bend Chamber. It was a one-time request, I think, and it will be coming forward. Should have some.
Deputy Mayor Dag.
Yes, thanks. I'd like to speak to the Grand Bend Chamber too. I think just before I do, I'd like to give you a bit of exposure to what's happening at the county level for the TSL. I think you're generally aware of this already, but at one point it was funded by the tourism-related businesses in the greater Saline area. And it shifted away from that model so that it's now dependent on the county itself to fund it. And every year it's a bugbear at the county because they keep asking for more money, and they say they need stabilized funding in order to do anything to encourage tourism. And now we're all looking at it going, why didn't it stay funded by those who were directly benefited by the tourism? And so I have a real problem with us shifting away to helping with operating funds for either of them. I really have a problem with that. Now, but I'm not saying that we can't help out with this new web relations initiative. I think that that is a very excellent initiative, and what it will do also is it will increase the membership of the chamber, because people will have, they're planning to have a cost benefit. If you are a member, you get a different price than if you're not a member. So then there's an incentive that you do sign up with membership and you maintain that in order to use a web relations service.
The Chamber's proposing that, or put that in place.
So I would be comfortable suggesting that we invest $5,000 in that web relations initiative. They made an application for money from the government, I think from the feds on some level, and they didn't know at the time whether they got it or not. But I'd be comfortable
for some way to work with staff to get a student or something like that through the grant program. Glenn,
The chamber, you mean?
the chamber, in the end.
Yeah, I've actually got an email here on it.
Yeah,
They asked for two and they got one, I think.
yeah, to get the number of hours to help pay for the student up there. So but they're asking for some way to have a, if there's any student possibilities for us. I think we need to look into that farther, but I don't know whether it's possible. The TSL, as Elizabeth has explained, right now there's 4 vacant positions on the TSL board, and I'm maintaining that those 4 vacant positions better be east of Oil Heritage Road and north of 402, so that we get some representation. You'd be glad to serve?
Would you? Love to serve. Oh, that's, they would never put me on. I know where you're going.
Would be a good addition.
Councilor Russell, I'd like to just take it another step, and I think the deputy has talked me through the county thing, and I've been involved for 25 years plus, and she's correct. The model went to a very more self-sustaining model through the chamber at a certain point. They took it even further during Phil Lynch's time, because they brought out that thing that was basically profit-centered. They send out their, what do we call it, brochure, the annual brochure, and then the stuff that came went back to operating, and then gradually, but then they got grants from feds, they got, and then the whole thing gets bastardized for 3 years, and then they come back to the county when all the grants disappear and they ask again for it. So without visiting that, because I think it was, Ruth said a couple of meetings ago about let's not get into what we can't do, let's get into what we can do. This economic development that we're starting, I think, is going to be a little bit more open. Marty said to us a couple weeks ago that it's more, let's get rid of the old paradigms. And I think what's interesting about the model you're talking about is, I think that's the model will probably be self-sustaining long term. And if we are smart enough to realize that economic development isn't tourism, and I don't mean that in a negative way, what I mean to say is you guys all remember, as people who ran for council, we sat in Fort Franks, 28 of us across the front, and we talked about economic development, and I listened to 22 of you, and when I got up there, I said, there are farms here in this municipality. I guess what I'm saying is if we do economic development, there's, I think, components to it. This will be part of the thing. Tourism's one of the components. Agriculture's another, small business is another. I guess what I'm saying is that whatever the models is, chambers are a partner to that modeling and whatever money we put in, just like we talked about any of these projects earlier. And I think when we get away from the modeling where the people who are having the benefit aren't contributing, then you get into the TSL problem. And it's been like this year after year at the TSL. We reap not the benefits of all those arguments with the county. Sometimes we don't maybe get as much for our money put in. That was always the argument, right, Ruth?
Yep.
And I think if we start anything economic, let's start it small, do it correctly, and help people out and partner with them. I don't know how we'll do it. Marty, maybe you and Lori will have a good model, but last year was reactive. I apologize for even persuading you guys to put $20,000 in the budget for economic development, and we had the money there to be able to help them out. I think they promised us a business plan for that money that would show what the next year would be in the years after. That's part of this 16,000 if we all remember. Okay, so I think that goes to Marty's committee and et cetera, et cetera. So I'd like to see some money put in here. I don't know what the figure is because I don't have the knowledge. Last year I suggested 20 to get it going. That's what we did last year. That's what it was. So I don't know what the figure is.
Councilor Russell.
Hey, just to clarify, for the clarification, John, you're talking about the X number of dollars into the economic budget, not the dollars to the chamber.
Exactly.
Okay.
To me, the issue is economic development. The first line.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
because we did that, it was a one-time thing.
It was a one-time thing.
The chamber does wonderful work, and they do wonderful work for their own members. And maybe once we go through a process of economic development, then we may see how we're gonna partner with them, but that, they are a partner. And, but we don't fund the operations of the chamber. We support, we work with. So, yeah, so I guess I would not support that piece of it, but then we do need to talk about how we're going to resource the economic development committee. And I